It's our weekly conversation with Milwaukee Admirals head coach Karl Taylor. Coach, 6 games in 8 days for the Chicago Wolves. COVID rescheduling has been tough on everybody, but this is a particularly tough stretch for your team.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of games in a short period of time. And, you think with our young guys, it's probably a good thing. They haven't had to go through that. It's been a very light schedule this season. The games have been spread out. Every season you got a couple 3-3s. So I would imagine it'll be a new experience for some of them with the younger players in the league. But it'll be good. It'll be a good test. It'll be challenging with the travel and the different things we have to deal with, but also trying to stay COVID compliant as well. So those are other elements that make it more challenging. But, every year there's times where it's tough travel, and this is ours, and we're going to embrace it.
And we should point out, it's not like a baseball thing where you're playing Tuesday through Sunday. It is broken up a little bit. So it's not day to day, but still the depth is necessary. And maybe some guys who haven't played a lot of minutes, maybe they get some more minutes this time around.
Yeah, I think it'll be spread around. Obviously, we've played basically everyone all season, and Ryan, the coach of the Wolves here, who works for Carolina, he makes the decisions on ice time for the most part. I'll guide him and try to help in some areas, but he's got final say, and so he'll direct that. But I'm sure he's going to spread it around more than usual, considering we have tough travel in between the games as well.
You've had players called up to the taxi squad, obviously, all season. Carolina the same way. Tommy Novak up and back, to Phil Tomasino up. What does that do for a player to get called up to the taxi squad, even if they don't get into a game in the NHL?
Yeah, I think it's all in how they look at it. It's like anything in life, right? How do you approach it? So I think if the player approaches it as a recognition of their work at this level, to have that opportunity to go up, I'm sure they're both disappointed they didn't get a game. You can't always control those things. And depending on how they view things, it's also a compliment. They don't want them sitting there and not playing. So maybe it's a compliment that they come back because they see them as someone who needs to develop and needs to get ice time and not be in a situation where you're not getting games or not consistently getting games. So I think it's all on how the player approaches it. I think the end is near in the American Hockey League. I think there's 3 weeks left or whatever it is until we get through this shortened season. So I think all the players want to get all the games in they can. And, with Phil, it was a little different because it was there were some COVID protocol things that affected him that made it a little more difficult for him, unfortunately. So that's just the way it goes. So now he's here and he's ready to play and he's excited to go tomorrow.
Are we going to have the same situation? Excuse me. We've had the taxi squad. Is it going to be the Black Aces situation as well here at the end of the season, since you pointed out that the American League season is coming to an end?
Yeah, I think that's something Nashville will work through, but obviously they have a lot of bodies there currently. So I think you'll see a lot less players making that move. Maybe they swap some guys out and some guys on the taxi squad go home and they call up other guys. It hasn't been a discussion point to this extent. I am not in those discussions. So I'm not sure how they're going to handle that, but they'll have some decisions to be made. And they probably want a certain amount of players to stay with them. Obviously, Nashville is fighting for that 4th spot, and they're going to be, trying very hard to secure that spot. But everyone's planning on them doing it. And so we'll have to see how they move forward. It's a little different than a normal season with that. And, obviously management's thinking about those items as they move forward.
This weekend, you'd head to Cleveland for a couple and then to Grand Rapids. And in the past, at least from Milwaukee, Cleveland has been a flight. It's also been a bus trip in years past. How is it now? Is it give us an idea? Is it 2 buses? Is it, how do you bring everybody? Well, how does it work?
I haven't had a bus trip yet. Ryan and I, we got the rental van just going everywhere. I think since the start of this American League, I think we have 16 or 17,000 miles on this rental van. I think it had 4 when we took it. So we put some mileage on it. And so this will be the first time we jump on the bus with the team. There's 2 buses. Everyone gets their own seat. You have to sit in the window seat. You have to mask up. And you also, the buses are assigned and designated similar to the dressing room. So they're trying to keep people around the same people. So you get less interaction. So all those things have been taken care of. Now we are getting on a bus with closed windows for 6.5 hours. So I'm not sure. Maybe it mitigates it a little bit. It's very difficult to get through this and try to make the right decisions, and we need to get there. And so we're going to bust.
It's going to be, yeah. Well, good luck this weekend. Good luck in this busy stretch, and thanks for your time.
Thank you very much.
That's Milwaukee Admirals head coach Karl Taylor.